Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to All Things Division 3 Soccer with Simple Coach and Jackie. I am Simple Coach. And in her t-shirt today, 'cause there's a little chill in the air, Jackie is right there, sleeping away. Okay, so first of all, I have to give you my apologies for not coming to you earlier. I was on a business trip that, has no regard for my YouTube influencing. So I wasn't able to do this a little earlier. There were some, cracker games yesterday. The notable one, I think, is the Chicago Hope game where Hope defeated defending national champions 1-0. I did not see the game, but I will just say that if you watched the new show, Mr. Petru said I would be wrong. The only thing I would be wrong about is about my assessment of the University of Chicago's team. Maybe I was proven right. I don't know. I'd like to watch it, so just throwing some banter around. Hey, so I'm going to another big time YouTube influencer is Coach Rob One Take Harrington, who does quick segments of him walking through Milwaukee to talk about what's going on with his program and what things are happening in soccer at the Milwaukee School of Engineering, MSOE. So I am actually going to try to do this in one take because I don't have much time. I have to take off my YouTube influencing hat today for a pretty significant high school game, and also where I hope to get a haircut at some point. So I got an action-packed day, and then obviously the games that I want to watch. So I'm going to start with the women. There are some great games on tap. Look, it's Amherst Tufts weekend, so there's, the women are facing off against each other, which is a real, real top match. Amherst 3-0-1, Tufts at 2-1. You have a battle in Ohio, Case Western at Otterbein, both undefeatable but with one tie. You have, a friendly rivalry. Friendly? I don't know. Mary Washington versus Virginia Wesleyan. You have Scranton at Stevens, which is another great game. Salisbury at Catholic. Unfortunately, you can't watch that because Catholic is now a part of the pay-per-view conference. After that landmark deal that now nobody's going to get to watch. Yeah, that's on Saturday. So, but let me choose the three games that I'm really going to be watching. The first one, Montclair State at Vassar. Let me see which ones. Okay, so Montclair State with a big win against Misericordia 4-1, and then Vassar with a win at Scranton. I have Calvin at Chicago. Calvin with a big win against North Central 5-3. And Chicago had 2 wins in a row with 4 goals each after tying Hanover. Both teams are 4-0-1. So that should be another cracker of a game. But the number one game I think for the day for Saturday is William Smith. I was reminded that actually it's not Smith College. It is actually formerly William Smith College, the Herons of William Smith. So hopefully I said that right now. Smith College on that great run, 3-0-1. They did tie University of Paywall, and then Messiah coming in off of loss against a really good McDaniel team, 1-0, and yeah, so I think that's going to be a big time matchup for the day. So that's on Saturday. On Sunday, you know, you have the likes of Emory facing Lynchburg. You have another battle in Ohio of 4-0-1s. Baldwin Wallace at Case Western again. You know, Trine versus Capital. Out west, Lewis and Clark versus Pacific. And in the Midwest, you have Dubuque at Gustavus. But the matches I'm going to really be honing in on are I'm going to hone in on Middlebury at Clarkson. Middlebury is at 2-0-1, Clarkson at 4-0-1. Um, uh, Middlebury plays Hamilton today, so they play today and tomorrow. And then Clarkson tied Case 1-1, which was a big deal. And then they put 5 against the Ruse at SUNY Canton. So, um, so again, the games that I'm sort of cued in on: William Smith at Messiah, Calvin at Chicago, Montclair at Vassar for today, and then tomorrow, Sunday, Middlebury at Clarkson, and then another one I'm going to throw out there because this is a battle of Texas. 2-2-1 Trinity faces the undefeatable 5-0 UT Dallas. So I think that's going to be another cracker of a game to check out. So, all right. So, you know, following in the footsteps of the great coach Rob Harrington, I'm going to keep rolling here, but now with the men. So for Saturday, I mentioned obviously it's Amherst Tufts weekend. I'll talk about that, but you also have Connecticut College at Bowdoin. Vassar looking to sort of get into a rhythm. 2-2 is headed to the undefeatable Montclair State, and so yeah, that's going to be a tough matchup. McAllister 4-0-2 at Gustavus Adolphus, at 4-0-2. Excuse me, at 2-1-2. A Centennial Conference battle right here. Muhlenberg travel at 3-1, travels to Johns Hopkins at they're at 2-1-2. Same, looking to sort of get some daylight with some wins. Muhlenberg, I don't know if they're charged up because of the new turf they got, but anyhow, they're going down to Johns Hopkins, so that'll be a really great matchup. Ohio Northern at 2-2-1 with probably the most ridiculous schedule out there. Is traveling to North Park, who sits at 3-1. Another really great game, Centennial Conference. Washington travels to who's at 1-0-4, so maybe they're the new Williams. Travels to Dickinson, that's 3-1. So that's going to be a really interesting matchup. Another game to check out. Go out west. Pomona Pitzer 1-2-1 goes to Caltech, which is 3-0-1, and just got I think they just got drubbed by Occidental. I'm not sure, but I think they're actually 3-1-1. But yeah, so that's going to be a really really great. That's going to be a really interesting matchup. But that's on Sunday. But let me run through my Saturday games that I'm going to keep an eye on. Obviously, got to go with Amherst Tufts, both 2-0-1. They're at Tufts. They don't like each other. They don't like each other, and yeah, they really don't like each other. So Amherst, they beat the Valiants of Manhattanville 5-0. And then Tufts just comes off of a big win, 7-0 against Maine Framington. Not sure how you pronounce that. Um, I have a really great matchup because there's personal interest in this one, but Calvin 6-0 travels to undefeatable Mount Union, the Purple Raiders. Go Raiders, hence the purple, at 5-0. So they are at Larry Karras Stadium. Um, this is going to be a really tough match. I think it's probably a bigger deal for Mount Union, just because I think this is sort of one of the strength of schedule things. Like, man, if they beat Calvin, it really is a statement match. So, and is this year going to be special? So if Mount Union comes out of this with even a draw, that's a really big feather in their cap, in my cap, and and then another Battle of Ohio, 4-0-1, the Blue Streaks of John Carroll, Coach Dayon, travels to 3-1-1 to Ohio Wesleyan. So it seems like Owu is back on track, and does John Carroll have the muster? I think they're a special team this year. Really tough defensively, really good, really solid on attack with a fantastic forward and Jordan Wright, I think his name is. So those are the three games, and if I'm going to pick one that I'm guaranteed to watch, it's obviously going to be the Calvin at Mount Union. And then on Sunday, there's only a few. There's a couple games, not as many this time around. So Center, 2-2 travels to DePaul 3-2, and I think DePaul is trying to sort of, um, start raising the caliber of its game. So I'm really interested in that one. There's something interesting. I think it's the Richmond Kickers host the Sims Flowers Classic at whatever the stadium is that the Kickers have. There's two matchups. Hampden Sydney plays Catholic. Hampden Sydney 3-1-2. Catholic at 2-3, I believe. They just lost to Emory 3-1. So, again, regional powerhouse Catholic. Not finding the wins against the better teams. So this will be interesting for them. See if they rebound. And then the other leg of that game, 4-0 University of Mary Washington, I'm really impressed with. And 2-0-2 or 3-0-2 Emory face off. And I would say watch those games, but you can't because it's either because Catholic or I don't know. There's no video, so I don't know if the Kickers, if they're hosting, they're not doing videos, so which is a real bummer. So I think for Sunday I'm going to be watching the center at DePaul. That's going to be my matchup. So just to rehash, and then I'll let you guys go. For today on the women's side, I would be watching the William Smith at Messiah, Calvin at Chicago, and Montclair State at Vassar. And then for Sunday, Middlebury at Clarkson and Trinity at UT Dallas. Those are the two games. On the men's side, keep an eye out for obviously the Amherst Tufts matchup, the Calvin at Mount Union, and then the John Carroll at Ohio Wesleyan. And then on Sunday, if you happen to be in Richmond, go to the Richmond Stadium and watch the Hampton-Sydney Catholic Mary Washington Emory games. But if not, if you're like the rest of us, go to watch the Center at DePaul game. So 2-2 Center and 3-2 DePaul. So, all right. So again, my apologies for being late on this. Hope you have a wonderful Saturday. Send out positive vibes for the Montgomery boys soccer in our matchup. And I will see you again this week. I'm going to be doing the top 25s again. I will be doing updates for probably the midweek games if there's any, but definitely the following for next weekend, what games to be watching. And yeah, I thought I had something else going, but no. So that's it. Thanks again.